Warning, warning, warning. This is a spoiler-full edition of the Kinda Nerdy Girls podcast.
All the spoilers.
Post Endgame. Here we are. How you doing, Jonna?
I'm sick now.
she loved it so much it made her sick.
Yeah. I was getting sick the night before. I felt it. My throat started hurting, and I was like, no, you are not allowed to get sick. Wait till after Endgame.
Right?
And now it's just like, all right, we waited. Now I'm just like full-fledged, just disgusting right now.
How sad would you have been if you would have missed Endgame?
I probably would have cried harder than when I actually saw it.
Oh my God. Okay, so let's start with the emotions. It was not as bad as it could have been.
You're right. I honestly expected more people to die.
Yes.
Than what actually did.
But the one that did that we didn't see coming.
I know.
It wasn't even on my radar. We were so focused on Cap and Iron Man that I never thought for a second. And again, this is spoilers. Lots of spoilers coming. Big spoiler. Warning. Do you think that's enough?
Yeah.
I never thought Black Widow wasn't going to get through this.
Same.
Oh my! I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. We are in the Kinda Nerdy Studios where Black Widow is staring at us.
She did now.
Oh my God!
I know.
So her movie will be a prequel, right?
It has to be.
Unless, I mean, is there a way to bring her out of the Soul Stone?
Unless they do more like time travel stuff, like they did with like Gamora.
Now you didn't have strong feelings about Black Widow.
I did it, but I didn't think she was gonna die.
Okay, so how are you now?
I'm still a little sad because of the way it happened. Her and Clint like literally fighting each other over who's gonna jump off of this cliff.
That was awful.
I was like, this hurts me a lot more than I thought it was going to.
Right. If you go back and listen to past episodes of the Kinda Nerdy Girls, Jonna and Katie have had no love for Hawkeye or Black Widow.
Right.
So, in the end game, you felt it.
Yeah.
Because I was sitting there. There were so many times I was sitting in that theater, and I would think to myself, Hawkeye be having a moment, and I'm like, if Jonna says anything bad about Hawkeye after this, we're done.
I really can't say anything bad about him. Because, I mean, that beginning scene, I was like, what is this? Why would you guys do this to me? Like, they just immediately started to hit you in the gut. And I was like, okay, cool. They're like, oh, here's Hawkeye on house arrest on his farm. Oh, his family's dust now. What?
Yeah,
what happened?
I don't think I have cried that fast at a movie since Guardians of the Galaxy, which was really unexpected. Because Guardians of the Galaxy, if you talk to anybody, that's the fun movie to watch, right?
Yeah.
I mean, I've told people who haven't seen any of the movies, oh my God, you're yawning, and I feel bad that you're even here. You're so sick.
It's okay.
But I'll tell people.
I do for love.
Right. This is for you. But I'll tell people who haven't seen any of the movies or don't know anything about superheroes, comic book movies, Marvel, whatever. Watch Guardians of the Galaxy. You don't need to see any of the other ones. Start there, and if you have fun watching that, you'll be into the others.
Yeah.
But the opening scene of Guardians of the Galaxy, the little boy and losing his mom. It's making me have feelings for Star-Lord again. I haven't had nice feelings for Star-Lord in a long time.
Right.
But I just thought about the way his life started, and it was pretty awful. But that was very unexpected because you're going into a movie that's fun, and then you're like, well, hey, we're 30 seconds in, and I'm crying.
Right.
Endgame, at least, we brought an entire box of tissues.
Yes, we did. We did. And I used a lot of them.
And can we talk about the eating our feelings in-game pre-party?
Yes, we can.
What was your favorite menu item?
Ooh,
we had Black Widow
Oreos.
Black Widow Oreos?
Yeah.
Black Widow Oreos?
Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
And then we had Thor's hammer.
That was like cheese on a pretzel.
Yeah.
Right?
And then we had Hawkeye's arrows, which was also cheese on a pretzel,
just
but shaped like an arrow.
Yes.
And then there was, my favorite personally was the Iron Man pizza.
And then there was, sitting next to the Iron Man pizza was the healthy alternative, which was Cap's shield of fruit.
Yep. Cap Shield of Fruit was very good, though.
You can see the video if you follow us at Kind of Dirty Girls on Twitter or Instagram. I posted it everywhere. And the funny thing about it was that my friend Wendy, who did all of the preparations for our pre-party.
Thank you, Wendy.
Thank you, Wendy. She wasn't even going to the movie. She loves a good theme.
Who doesn't?
She spent 2 days preparing all of these appetizers, and we had the Hulk green Jello. Yes, the angry Jello. I mean, it was fantastic. So we at least got to have a lot of fun beforehand. Yes. The Avengers ice cream cake was amazing.
That was awesome.
With
that was my second favorite.
The golden Oreo crust.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
So
I didn't want to cut into it. She had the Avengers. I'm telling you, you need to see this video. And then you should, hire Wendy for your theme parties.
Yes.
She made this ice cream cake from scratch. And I don't know how she made that beautiful Avengers logo on it. It's incredible. So anyway, enough about the food. Let's talk about the movie.
It was so good.
So we had filled our bellies full of feelings. So if you're listening and you haven't seen it yet, you should probably stop listening. That's a bad thing.
Yes.
Right? You've already got something that you don't want out of this. But all the feelings leading up to it, I think were worse.
Yeah.
Well, don't you think so?
Yeah.
I thought it would be worse after, and I think the anxiety beforehand was worse.
Yeah. Literally, as soon as we sat down in our chairs, I was like, oh no, it's going to start. And then once it actually started, I was like, oh no, like my heart was racing. I was like, oh my God, I can't do it.
Can we talk about the moment that it went completely silent in the theater and Jana yelled?
I'm sorry, God.
Please set the scene of when you decided that you could not control your Captain America love any longer.
Okay, so we're in the theater. It's nice and dark. And there's the theater's full of people. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Top to bottom full of people. And Captain America, love of my life, and Thor are fighting Thanos, right?
Right.
And so Thor's got his hammer and he's got his axe thing.
Yep, the axe.
And so he puts down the hammer and Thanos has got him he's crushing his chest plate with his sword or whatever.
Now, as John is sitting there processing her emotions, I'm also hitting her over and over, going, Cap's gonna get the hammer.
Cap's gonna get the hammer.
Cap's gonna get the hammer.
And then all of a sudden you see Mjolnir just pull up off the ground and it hits Thanos and I'm like, oh my God, what's happening? And then Cap reaches his hand out and it comes right back to him. I was like, yes! And then I don't know what happened. There was a lot of fighting and stuff like that. And then Cap reached out to get the hammer again and he had it in his hand. And I literally went, oh, that's so hot. And then it was so quiet in the theater and everyone heard me. And then everyone started laughing. I was like, oh no, I didn't mean for everyone to hear that.
I mean, we were all having a moment.
Yes.
Everyone was yelling. That was a moment where no one could control themselves when Cap, gets the hammer and Thor's like, I knew it. And everyone's yelling. But then there's this moment where they just freeze on the beauty that is Captain America.
Yeah.
And John was like, oh, that is so hot.
It was. When you guys go see the movie, if you love Captain America as much as I do, you'll think it's just as hot. I was like, I've never been more attracted to Chris Evans than this moment in time.
They had him dressed so fine the entire movie.
Looking like a snack.
And, and Ant-Man and his, that's America's ass.
That's America's ass. And then Steve goes, that is America's ass.
How many times? Steve cussed more than anybody in the movie.
I know. I was like, Cap, what colorful language we're using.
I know. And you knew the first time, because it was right away at the beginning of the movie, that first time, even though nobody said it, everyone in that theater was thinking, language.
Yep. That's exactly what I thought. I was like, Cap, language, what's going on here?
Oh, I had no idea what to expect. We knew, we knew time travel, right?
Yes. There
was a moment where it was like, okay, this is going to be what we thought. But then the way that they did the time travel was not what we thought.
No.
And getting to go back and revisit some of those characters, and Thor and his mom. Oh my gosh. Yeah. It did. Yeah. And then the moment where Cap sees Peggy. I thought that was it. I was like, this is the end. Captain America is staying right here. Steve Rogers cannot walk away from her. But he did what he had to do.
Yeah, I was doing so good in the movie. Like, I didn't cry or anything. And then when they went back in time and he saw Peggy, I was like, oh no. I was like, he's seeing Peggy. Oh no. And then he's just like staring at her through this window and she doesn't even like notice him. And I'm just like bawling my eyes out because I'm like, that's the love of Cap's life.
I know. Oh my gosh. I will say, I don't know if people who are not, who do not put Captain America as their like top Avenger, like you and I.
You're incorrect.
Well, I am curious to know if they have the same appreciation for Endgame that we have, because I felt like that movie was an ode to Captain America.
Yeah, that was
wasn't
Cap's
it?
Last hurrah.
Like everything was. It was all the threads kind of built around the greatness that is Captain America and giving him the proper send off.
Yep.
Not that it wasn't. I mean, also great moments for Tony Stark.
Yeah, I mean everybody had their own like great moment, but Cap shined in this movie. Honestly.
Yes,
he was just like Cap's like all the way up here at like number one forever, like number one Infinity.
Yes,
and then it's just everyone else in this movie. Like,
well, and we had an interesting debate at the Eat Our Feelings Endgame pre-party about who is the better leader. Like, who would you want as a leader, Tony or Steve? And everybody, I mean, after a lot of like, you start like yelling at each other, and then you're like, wait a second, I don't even dislike Iron Man. Why am I saying such bad things about Iron Man? Like, hang on a second. And we agreed that Iron Man would be a great leader to help you like move up, to pursue power. He knows. Yes. He knows that corporate world. He knows that there are things that need to be done sometimes that you don't like to do. And Captain America is going to lead you through the path of righteousness, keep you on the moral. Clean. Yes. So I felt like both of them were kind of getting what they should have, and we got to see Tony as a dad. And then we had to frickin' watch Spider-Man, we watched Peter Parker lose Tony. So in Infinity War, we watched Tony lose Peter, and then in the Endgame, we watched Peter lose Tony. God.
And Tom Holland, I just can't like praise him enough for his acting when it comes to those serious moments.
Yeah,
because you could just tell that in his mind, he was like, okay, like Robert Downey Jr., I gotta act like he's dying right in front of me, and he was. There were tears, and he was just so sad. You could hear his voice breaking. Right. And I was like, wow, Tom, you were such a good actor. Like,
he is. And the pressure of that moment, because he is, in that moment, he is all of us. Yeah. Right? Like, he has got to represent what has been going on for us, like this buildup and the losing of the character that began this whole thing, and he's still really, I mean, it's been a few years, but he's one of the newer additions. He wasn't one of the original 6. And so he comes in, he's the youngest, and he has to have that moment that all of us are feeling. It's just incredible. I'm excited to see him. He and Chris Evans are doing a Netflix movie. And remember, they both play, were you not here when we talked about it? They both play like evil guys, like they're like demons or something. Are serial killers. I think they're serial killers.
What?
But I didn't want to see him that way, but now I kind of do, because I'm sick of Tom Holland wrecking me.
Yeah, right? God, he's always just like puts you right in your feelings.
Right? I'm like, I don't need this, Peter Parker.
Yeah, because it was him at the end of Infinity War that got everyone just like bawling because of his impromptu lines, matter of fact. Yeah. So it's just like, oh my God. And then he's like, no, Mr. Stark. He was like, it's okay, we won. And I was like, like just bawling, just like pulling all the tissue out of the box.
And what about Pepper? I did not see that. I did not see her role in this movie. I really thought she was going to be kind of on the outside, like, okay, there's the family life. They got, they've got their little girl, and he's going off to the battle, and then she's like,
and then she up. I was like, all right.
I'm here. And that moment where all the women got together, oh my gosh, is that foreshadowing a new movie? I
hope so, because honestly, it would be such a good movie to have all of those super strong women to like lead to some greatness.
Yes, like, I feel like that. I mean, obviously that was very purposeful. Yeah. But Marvel doesn't do anything without thinking it through, right? And I felt like that was like, hey guys, get ready for these women.
Yeah.
I saw it was so awesome, and now there are things to look forward to.
Yeah.
It did end, but watching Cap give Sam the shield.
Oh my God.
And Bucky being okay with it, and
Sam kind of looked at Bucky like, "Are you sure?" And Bucky's like, "You got it." Like, he just gave him the nod, and it's like, okay.
So now, will we, with the Disney Plus show, see Sam as Captain America? Is it going to be the Winter Soldier and Captain America versus Winter Soldier and Falcon?
Ooh,
right?
Know. Maybe there's going to be like a mix.
Maybe like
I don't know. I can't say it's going to be like a prequel because they didn't really know each other until like a few years ago. So, I mean, I don't know. Maybe it could be about them in the in like the other universe. That and then up to Endgame where they came out and they fought, and then Cap gave Sam the shield, and then after that happened.
Oh my gosh, can you imagine if they did like Endgame the other side, and it's all of the other characters' perspective of what was happening leading up to that moment that Doctor Strange brought him back? They should do that.
I would totally watch that. I would totally watch it because I love Peter's explanation when he saw Tony. He was like, "Hey, Mr. Stark." He was like, "I just." He talks so fast. It cracks me up. He was like, "Hey, like, we were there, and then he said it's been Dr. Strange said it's been 5 years, and then he started doing that yellow circle thing that he always does." And he's like, "And now we're here."
Oh, it was so great.
All right, so let's talk about the part that really had me
crying.
When Cap had to go back in time to put the Infinity Stones back to where they were.
Yep.
And the Hulk. First, let's talk about the Hulk.
Okay.
Mark Ruffalo. Because I was trying to.
There's so much to talk about. I know.
Mark Ruffalo just walking around as the Hulk, wearing his glasses and like shirts and like pants that fit. I'm like, what is this?
And when he was mad when they went back in time and he had to smash some things to like look.
He's
like holding his hands in the air like he's a bear. Like,
well, I mean, he's been living the non-angry Hulk life for like 5 years.
Yeah.
So he probably like doesn't know how to he knows how to control it now.
Mm-hmm.
So it's probably hard for him to just like Hulk out because he's Hulk all the time.
It was so awkward. And before we get to another sad moment, I cannot with Thor with this whole movie. Oh my gosh, the entire time. I am so glad that they actually kept that going the whole movie.
Same.
Right? Because you had that moment where he's back. Right, and all his armor comes back and stuff, and then you see the side shot, and he's still got his beer gut.
I know. He was walking, and I was like, "Oh, he's probably got a 6-pack now." And then they're like, "Nope, we're gonna keep him fat in his armor." I was like, "Okay,
cool." Chris Hemsworth had to have so much fun. As funny as he is, right? He's hysterical. He had to have so much fun when he found out that his entire role through Endgame was to just be a ridiculous, pathetic drunk.
He probably had a good time playing that role, honestly.
Yeah, that was those two characters kept things light no matter what, because even when Thor was sad or upset about it, they'd flash to him and you're like, God, he is just you
can't take his sadness seriously. You're just like, oh, he's got this real like long beard and like this real long hair. And I'm like, Thor, what's going on here?
It was so gross.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't want to run my fingers through that.
Thor's Endgame was being like the most disgusting version of Thor.
Yeah.
There ever was. Yep. And especially the contrast, because we saw the Men in Black trailer right before the movie started. So you know how attractive and fit and godly Chris Hemsworth is. Yep. And then the entire movie is just this, overweight, beer drinking waste of space.
He's just walking around drunk all the time. I'm like, what is going on? He's like screaming at kids while they're playing Fortnite.
That was the best. Oh
He's like, yeah, go tell your dad I yelled at you. I was like, okay, goodness.
I can't. Oh my gosh. I'm so glad that there were so many moments that were making us laugh so hard to, offset the moments that were going to make us so sad.
Yeah.
And just, I don't know. I mean, if there's somebody, if you are listening going, I saw all of this coming. This was not a surprise to me. I want to hear from you because
Are you Doctor Strange?
I did not see the wonderful flow of the story. Yeah. And that didn't feel like 3 hours. Because you know me, this is the first time I've gone to, I take it back. I went to one 3-hour movie before, and that was the freaking last Lord of the Rings movie. And I was very mad about how long it was. And then I fell asleep, and it was like you woke up, and I'd been sleeping for 45 minutes, and they hadn't gotten any further. Okay, so I really, like, when that happened, I'm never going to see a 3-hour movie again. So I had to break my rule. It does not feel like that.
No, it didn't. Honestly, I honestly thought it felt more like 2 hours.
Yeah.
I was like, oh. I looked at my watch and I was like, is it 9 o'clock already?
Right.
Oh my God. Like,
yeah.
It's nuts. But it was.
Okay, let's go back to the sad.
It's not sad. It's happy. Okay. It's a happy.
The emotion.
It was a happy ending, but it just made me cry. So, oh God, that was like the hardest I cried during the whole movie. And it was right at the end. So what you guys, spoilers for real.
Oh boy, we are 20-some minutes into this. Your Endgame has been spoiled.
Yeah. So go see it anyway because it's amazing.
We're gonna go again on Monday.
Yes, we are. But so Cap had to go back in time to return the Infinity Stones,
mm-hmm.
and the Hulk is trying to get him back, but he's not coming back.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, oh no. So me and KJ are both looking at each other like, he's gonna stay.
Yeah.
In 1945 or something.
Wherever
like
he
that. Wherever
was.
he was.
Yeah, with Peggy.
And then Sam's like, get him back. And then Bucky looks over and he sees an old man sitting on this bench. And he's like, Sam, look. Then they walk over. So dramatic.
Yeah. Anyone who's listening to this has seen it, Jonna.
It was such a serene scene. Like, you just see this old man sitting on this, like, stone bench, staring off, like, looking at this water. And Sam walks up to him, and he goes, Steve?
And Jonna goes, Clint Eastwood?
No, look, when y'all see this, please tweet back at us, because when I first saw Chris Evans as an old man, he 100% looked like Clint Eastwood. And I was like, how much is Clint Eastwood getting paid to be old Captain America?
Jonna was so distracted in that moment that it was Clint Eastwood.
Because he did not look like Steve Rogers.
No.
The Steve Rogers that we're used to seeing.
It will be interesting now as hopefully, Chris Evans leads a nice long life. We're all going to be watching to be like, is he turning into Clint Eastwood?
Yeah.
Because I can see, I mean, when you said it, then I got it. Yeah. But in that moment, I was with old Steve Rogers and Jonna's like, is that Clint Eastwood?
I mean, I knew it was old Steve Rogers, but I was like, that's probably Clint Eastwood.
Right.
But then he started talking, and I looked at his teeth because Chris Evans has beautiful teeth.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, yeah, that's Chris Evans. He just, like, got lots of makeup on.
Yeah.
And he tells Sam that, he was like, I just stayed back and lived a good life, and he had on a wedding ring, and I was like, oh.
You gonna tell me about that, girl? No. Well, okay.
He said, I don't think I will.
Can we talk about that? Because, I mean, I'm super happy, right? That was the best thing that could happen to Captain America.
Oh, yeah.
And, my husband spent the whole day tormenting me.
I know, right?
Right. He was
rude.
That is my husband's way of showing that he loves me. Like all day, because I'm being all dramatic and I don't know what to wear. I felt like I was getting ready for a funeral, right?
Yeah.
When you're staring at your closet going, what do you wear to say goodbye to someone?
Yeah.
Now it wasn't quite on that level. Okay, yes. I wouldn't, but it felt weird. Like, what do I wear to this? And at one point he said, "It's just a movie."
Rude.
And he was doing that to get me to go, oh, dare you? And I played into it because I'm.
You needed the distraction.
Yeah, but he kept saying all day, like, oh, is that what you're going to wear to watch Captain America die? Mm. Oh, is that what you're going to drink on the day that you're going to watch Captain America die? That's the glass you're going to use on the day Captain America dies?
Well, for some reason, everybody just, like, knew because he didn't die in Infinity War.
Right.
And everybody was just like, oh, he's going to die in Infinity War. Then he lives.
Mm-hmm.
And they were like, oh, well, now he's got to. Because Chris Evans' contract is up.
So let's talk about good for him because he's always put everyone above him, right? He has always fought for the good.
Yep.
And he is like, screw it, I'm going to go get my girl and I'm going to have my dance.
Yep.
However, how did that affect the timeline? Because you remember when she was in the hospital, it looked like she had married, right? She mentioned something about Steve led her in that old footage. Didn't it say it was? She said, it's interesting how he led me to the love of my life.
I don't know.
It seemed like, I don't go back and watch it because I think she had pictures of family.
She had a niece and everything.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which that wouldn't have affected anything. But if she had kids, did those kids then become Steve Rogers' kids? What happened to this other husband? What happened to that other life that because she told Steve she had a good life.
Yeah.
Right. So whatever happened when Steve went into the ice, she went on, and obviously he was the love of her life, but she went on to find love again and have a happy life. But that's gone.
Yeah.
So.
But I mean, if you think about it, if him going back erases that, then she doesn't know that is what happened.
I know, but
so she's just like, oh well, hey, Steve's here, so let's marry him. And
I know, but that poor other guy out there that could have ended up with Peggy Carter. Peggy Carter.
Yeah, well, I mean,
but he doesn't know either.
Yeah, they don't know.
Okay,
and the end scene is really because they go back in time, and there's this cute little house.
Mm-hmm.
With the little curtains open, and you just hear this soft music playing, and you're like, oh. And I was like, no, they're gonna show Cap and Peggy together in this house, and I honestly don't think I can handle it. Honestly.
I know.
And then you see them together dancing in their living room, and then Cap leans down, and then he kisses her, and then I'm just like,
yes. So the second time in the theater where everyone was laughing at Jonna was the end. Because, everybody applauded, this is great, which is the best part. I mean, that's the best part about going, when it first opens. You are in a room full of people who are as emotional and passionate about this as you are.
Yeah.
And so everyone was clapping. The clapping gets done, and you can just hear Jonna going.
Yeah.
And everyone started laughing because they could hear
you guys are so mean laughing at me while I was crying. I was really feeling some type of way because I was like, now Cap got his happy ending.
Right.
And we've been he's been talking about it. He hasn't
We spent a whole year before Infinity War thinking this is it for Cap.
Yep.
Then we spent a whole year after Infinity War thinking this is it for Cap.
Yep.
And then they gave us something we weren't expecting.
Yep. A happy ending for him.
Good job, Marvel. I just want to hug everybody at Marvel. I want to hug you all. The virtual hug coming your way.
Also, Stan Lee's last appearance in the movie.
Mm.
Literally, when I saw him, I was like, "Oh my god!"
I know.
Why are you doing this to me? But I loved it.
Yeah,
loved it.
It was great.
Perfect, very perfect last scene for him.
Yes, yeah, and they did such a great job of giving everyone moments.
Yeah,
right. Without it feeling like we're shoving this in here.
Yeah.
To make sure this person, gets their moment on screen. Even that, the Drax wasn't a huge part of it, but that moment where he's got his knives and he's just stabbing away, and you just laugh because that's Drax, right? I mean, it was really, really cool how they gave everybody their chance to shine, and nothing felt forced.
No, it didn't. Everything felt so natural.
I wish Katie was sitting here because she always argues with us about stuff.
She does.
This is this is. We will talk to Katie in the next episode.
I will say.
Yes.
Katie texted us when she got done last night.
Mm-hmm.
And she said, I even cried over Iron Man. And if y'all listening, y'all know she hates Iron Man.
She hates Iron Man. Hates him.
With a passion.
So I can't wait to hear what it was that moved her. What was going through her head all of a sudden that she had a moment where she was going to miss Tony Stark. Yeah. That'll be coming up on the next Kinda Nerdy Girls podcast.